Esther grew up in a simple yet loving home in the vast Persian Empire. Her parents had passed away, and her cousin Mordecai, a kind and wise man, took her in and raised her as his own daughter. Mordecai taught her the importance of kindness, courage, and faith in God. Esther, a beautiful young woman with gentle eyes and a quiet strength, spent her days helping Mordecai with chores and learning the traditions of their people, the Jews. She didn't live in luxury, but her heart was rich with love and goodness. Mordecai often reminded her, "Esther, you are special. God has a purpose for you." One day, a great commotion filled the streets. King Xerxes, ruler of the Persian Empire, was searching for a new queen. A royal crier announced, "The king invites all the young women of the kingdom to his palace. He will choose one to wear the crown." Excitement and curiosity spread through the city like wildfire. Mordecai encouraged Esther to go, saying, "This might be God's plan for you." Esther hesitated. She wasn't from a noble family. Why would the king choose me? She wondered. But trusting Mordecai's wisdom, she agreed to try. With a heart full of hope and fear, Esther prepared for the journey. The palace was unlike anything Esther had ever seen. Golden gates adorned with intricate carvings, gardens bursting with vibrant flowers, and fountains that sparkled in the sunlight. As Esther entered, her heart raced. She felt out of place among the other women, many of whom wore dazzling jewels and spoke confidently. But Esther remembered Mordecai's words, "Be yourself and trust God." The days in the palace were filled with preparations. Esther underwent months of beauty treatments and learned the ways of court life. Yet through it all, she remained humble, kind, and true to her faith. These qualities soon caught the attention of King Xerxes. When the day came for Esther to meet the king, she felt nervous yet hopeful. Dressed in a simple yet elegant gown, she approached the throne with grace. King Xerxes was immediately struck by her beauty and her gentle spirit. He declared, "This is the one. Esther shall be queen." The palace erupted in celebration as the king placed a jeweled crown on her head. But Esther carried a secret. She was Jewish. Following Mordecai's advice, she kept her heritage hidden, not knowing how crucial this secret would become. Not everyone in the palace was kind. Haman, the king's advisor, was a proud and arrogant man. He demanded that everyone bow to him, but Mordecai refused. "I bow only to God," Mordecai declared. Haman's pride turned to hatred, and he devised a wicked plan to destroy all the Jewish people in the kingdom. He convinced the king to sign a decree, not revealing the true extent of his evil intent. The news spread, and fear gripped the Jewish community. Mordecai tore his clothes and wore sackcloth in mourning. He sent word to Esther, urging her to help. "You must go to the king and plead for our people," he wrote. When Esther read Mordecai's message, she felt torn. "No one can approach the king without being summoned," she said. "Not even the queen. If I go, I could be killed." But Mordecai's reply was firm and full of faith. "Do not think you are safe because you are in the palace. Who knows? Perhaps you have become queen for such a time as this." These words stirred Esther's heart. She realized her position was not an accident, but part of God's plan. She sent a message back to Mordecai. "Gather all the Jews in the city and fast for me for 3 days. I will do the same. Then I will go to the king, even if it means my life." For 3 days and nights, Esther fasted and prayed. She poured out her heart to God, asking for courage and wisdom. The weight of her people's fate rested on her shoulders. On the 3rd day, she rose, dressed in her finest royal robes, and prepared to face the king. "God, give me strength," she whispered. As she walked toward the throne room, every step felt heavy with the risk she was taking. Would the king welcome her or condemn her? The throne room was silent as Esther entered. King Xerxes looked up, and for a moment, time seemed to stand still. Then he smiled and extended his golden scepter, signaling that she was welcome. Esther let out a breath of relief. "What is it, Queen Esther?" the king asked. "Even up to half the kingdom it will be given to you." Esther didn't rush her request. Instead, she invited the king and Haman to a banquet she had prepared. She knew the timing of her plea was critical. At the banquet, Esther waited for the right moment. As the king and Haman enjoyed the feast, the king asked again, "What is your request, Queen Esther?" This time, Esther spoke with courage and clarity. "If I have found favor with you, grant me my life and the lives of my people. We have been sold to destruction." The king was shocked. "Who would do such a thing?" he demanded. Esther pointed to Haman. "This vile man," she declared. Haman's face turned pale as the king's anger burned. The king ordered Haman to be punished, and a new decree was issued to protect the Jewish people. The news of the king's decree brought joy and relief to the Jewish community. They celebrated with feasts, dancing, and thanksgiving. Mordecai was honored with a high position in the palace, and Esther's bravery became a source of inspiration for generations. The Jewish people established the festival of Purim to remember how God saved them through Esther's courage. Esther's story teaches us that no matter how ordinary we may feel, we can make a difference when we trust God. Her faith, bravery, and selflessness remind us that we are all placed where we are for a reason. Like Esther, we can stand up for what's right and make the world a better place. Here are 5 lessons from Esther's story. 1. Be brave, even when it's scary. 2. Stand up for what is right. 3. Trust God to guide you. 4th, kindness and courage make a difference. 5. You are here for a purpose. Remember, you are super kids for Jesus. Thank you for watching, and remember, you can be brave too.